Oh, yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Killjoy Jake YouTube channel, where we're covering the absolute abomination that has become the Scream franchise. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. It's gonna get crazy. Let's talk with some of our friends out there. How we doing, everybody? How we doing? VKD, one of the usual suspects, is hanging out with us tonight. What's up, Dylan? How's it going? Definitely not canceled, just majorly delayed. I'll be suffering Ghostface withdrawal. Seems like it's gonna probably get some crazy delays. Will it get canceled? No, come on. Spyglass is gonna make some money off of this any way they possibly can. Reboots, maybe some people come back, fingers crossed, you never know. But I feel you, villain. I think I'm right there with you. I don't think it's going to get canceled. I just think, yeah, we probably won't see it next year, maybe 2025. Killjoy Jake is ecstatic because he won't have to hear about Stu's return. Well, JJ, here's what I'll say about this, my friend. Yasmer is actually quoting me correctly here. Most people don't, but I appreciate you, Yaz, for doing that. But for something I did actually say. Saying during a previous live, Killjoy Jake said that he'll even take Stu returning if it gets things back on track, hoping I'm not misquoting. No, you're spot on. Honestly, I just want a movie. I just want a movie at this point. If that means something ridiculous like that, fuck it, sure, run it, make it happen. I just want Scream 7, man. I'm a simple guy. I just want a 7th film so bad. Ugh. Wrestling God is saying, hey Jake, I just want to say this isn't the end. There are only just major delays with the 7th movie, and they're just waiting for everything to die down so they can get back on track. But are they going to get back on track? That's really the question, Wrestling God. I hope so. I want to stay optimistic, but things are looking pretty bleak. Oh, it's tough stuff, man. I'm a scared little potato over here. Who knows what's going to happen? Thankfully, we have a guest on tonight with a bit of the opposite perspective, which I'm really excited. I always talk about I don't want this page to turn into I don't want this to turn into an echo chamber of just me saying the same things over and over again, which is why I'm very excited to have a guest on tonight who may feel a little differently about some things, which is good. It's a positive thing. We want to hear everyone's perspective, and I love it. Jacob Loftus. What's up, Jacob? How's it going? I like your first name. I mean, on one hand, it's unfortunate, but on the other, I realistically don't care that much. Fair enough. I can't argue with that. You just don't. You're like, yeah, we got 6 movies. I'll take it. Fair enough. Jennifer Armstrong. What's up, Jennifer? How's it going? Happy Thursday. It's Friday Junior, baby. Look at that. Marcus? Yeah, I think if the E's at the end, it's a Marquise. But what's up, dog? How's it going? Welcome in. Happy Thursday. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Great stuff. Hollywood Guy. What's going on, dude? What a Hollywood guy you are. Top of your class. What's up? Welcome in, man. RJ Skorenki is here saying, let's talk some Scream 7. I'm still giving this movie a chance. I want to give it a chance too. I hope it's good. Fingers crossed. But, I'll cover the updates. That's where I'm at right now. Am I rooting for this movie? I don't even know. I really don't know at this point. We'll talk about it, though. We'll get into it. Julie, how's it going? Thanks for being a channel member. I really appreciate you. Weird how we went from potentially a yearly Scream movie and oversaturation to being left with nothing at all. I know. Us Scream fans were eaten for a little while there. And now nothing. Ghostface95 is saying, saying I'm not excited for the new Scream movie feels like it should be a crime, but it's true now. So I'm just hoping that Thanksgiving 2 doesn't destroy itself like Scream 7 has. I mean, a very good point, my friend. I hope that doesn't happen to the Thanksgiving franchise, but I'm also weirdly in the same boat. Like, am I even excited for this anymore? I don't know. I want it to be good so bad, Ghostface. So bad. Fingers crossed. Oh. Well, we'll talk about it all in a second here, though. Casey Tibbs, how's it going? All the love to you, my friend. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Thank you. How was everyone's Christmas? I had a fantastic Christmas. Got to see the fam. It was a lot of fun. Hope everyone else had a good holiday. Got to see family and friends and all that good stuff. Gotta love it. Who else is hanging out with us tonight real quick before we bring on the guest? Austin Daniels is here saying, if Spyglass reboots, I'll be upset, but if they sell and the new company decides to reboot, I'll accept it. I'm oddly in the same boat. I'm like, if another company does it, sure. But like Spyglass, what the fuck, y'all? What's going on? But Spyglass isn't gonna sell, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, you're spot on, Austin. I know a lot of people are saying that, but it's probably not gonna happen, Spyglass is gonna cash out. They're gonna make at least 3 of these. They want to make their money in all this. All right, one more person. We're bringing on some peeps. Oscar Hernandez. What is going on, Oscar? How you doing? What's up, Jake? Glad to finally catch a live stream again. Thanks for being here, Oscar. I really appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with me on this crazy Thursday night in the midst of this chaos. Oh, it's crazy stuff. Well, thank you all so much for being here. We're going to bring on the guest, Sarah. What's up, Sarah? How's it going?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. As good as I can be in the storm that is the Scream franchise right now.
The state of everything.
The chaotic DEFCON 1 state of everything. How are you feeling about all this, though?
I mean, Austin kind of said it perfectly. That's kind of how I feel. I'm gonna, level set with everybody in the chat. I am one of those people. I'm 34 years old. I kind of grew up with the original trilogy and 4. So to me, those are like my gold standard of Scream. So 5 and 6 weren't exactly my cup of tea, but that doesn't mean that this is how I wanted it to go down. This is still a very upsetting situation.
I didn't mean to preface bringing you on like saying like, oh, you're so happy that Melissa Barrera is fired, but I'm someone that does like 5 and 6 a lot, so I think it's cool to talk to someone who like, it's not really your cup of tea as much. I wanted to hear how you were feeling about everything versus just in the comments,
Yeah, I get that like the main fans of 5 and 6 obviously upset about like the casting. I'm coming at it as I'm upset about like what this does to like the legacy of the franchise or how it affects the franchise as a whole. So that is what's kind of rubbed me the wrong way about this whole situation. Is this was like a classic solid franchise. There was never really much like drama surrounding it, and now it's all we hear is how the future of this is in shambles.
It's a shame. I mean, I've been saying it for a while now, but it feels like 3 months ago we were talking theories. We were all excited, what's going to happen next. And now every update has just been like, this person left the project. This person's pissed off. This person's saying something super nasty. Yeah. It's unfortunate. You don't want that with any fandom.
Exactly. It's just Twitter has erupted and it's terrifying.
Yeah, no, there's some awful, terrible things being said about everyone on any side right now, and I think that's what really sucks. Like, that's my least favorite thing about what's going on right now is just, there's just so much, like, blaming. There's so much, like, people pointing the finger at things that don't even make sense. They're not even doing the research. They just see the Christopher Landon figurehead. I'm gonna be angry at this guy, and it's like, oh, that's so frustrating. Like, don't do that. Don't say nasty things to Christopher. He had nothing to do with any of the bad stuff.
Crack a book, people. Just read up on it before we just start like slandering people that have nothing to do with the problem.
Right. It's frustrating. It's very, very upsetting. It's a weird time, to say the very least. Shay Rance is with us tonight saying, what's up, Jake? Hope you're doing well. Scream 7 is just very depressing at this point. I don't understand why Spyglass are so insane. They want to make money, I mean, like, I get it from a business perspective, but also it's just like, enough bad press can really kill a project. That's another big thing about it as well, unfortunately. I don't know, just nothing but bad things in the last 2 months.
Dark days.
I mean, even, Matthew Lillard has spoken out against it, which is like, man,
crazy.
Like, you got the king of wholesome is saying nasty things about your project. What's up? What's up with that?
Like the ride or die, like the man who will go down with the ship is now not on board. It's crazy.
100%. I mean, this guy has been begging to be in the next movie for the longest time, and now he's just like, nope, don't want to touch that thing.
Just pay my airfare, I'll be there. And now he's like, nope, and out of it.
Right. It's insane. I don't know, the whole situation. The deeper you dive into it, the more of a shit show it becomes. Truly. Max is saying, hate to be pessimistic, but I believe Scream 7 is screwed. Hard to disagree with you, my friend. It's a tough situation. I don't want to be pessimistic either. I love to be this eternal optimist, even if that means I get disappointed a lot. I like to be optimistic about things. I like to be positive, but it's tough. It's tough to be positive about the situation currently. Aaron Hughes is saying, hey, ya. What's up, Aaron? How's it going? Thanks for being here, my friend. Appreciate you. Madison's out in the chat. What's up? How you doing? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate you. Disney Crazy saying, maybe a Gale-centered story. Sarah, I want to throw this to you. What do you think about any of the other returning cast members, which don't really have a rumor surrounded around them? Do you think anybody would come back for a Scream 7 now?
It's so hard to think about. I'm thinking realistically, the way to tie in Gale would be to make it a Kirby-centric story and have Gale as like, I don't even want to call it a cameo, but have Gale as kind of like a little side character, because it makes sense that they're connected. But like, I don't think Gale would come back with like a whole fresh cast. Like if Spyglass decides to go like the reboot route, I can't see her coming back in anything more than like producer capacity.
Yeah, I like it. Just the whole situation comes off as like they don't want to be involved with it at all because now this company has screwed over two of some of the main characters. I don't think anyone wants to be. No one wants to touch this thing.
Best case is Spyglass just sees it as a sinking ship and sells it off to someone better, but they're going to do whatever they need to do to make money. But we can pray.
We can keep our fingers crossed and hope that they do the right thing, give it to somebody else. But I don't know. I fear that they're going to do the cash grab route and just make something with Scream in the title, and then it's just not up to quality, which would suck because, like, for me at least, I feel like all 6 of these movies are pretty consistent. I really love this franchise, and I just don't want it to go to shit now. I'm like, we just got the rebirth, and now 2 years later, it's dog shit. It's like, what's going on with that?
It's upsetting.
It's upsetting. Julie's saying Gary shakes his fists in Arthur rage. What's up, Julie? I love that. That's hilarious. Great stuff. Who else is hanging out with us in the chat tonight? Denisha was saying something funny a second ago. Oh, where did that go? There we go. Hey, Jake, I hope one day you watch Cobra Kai. Denisha is a huge Cobra Kai fan. I need to watch this. Sarah, have you ever watched Cobra Kai, just out of curiosity?
I have seen like the whole thing. I'm up to date. I didn't think it was going to be like for me, but everybody was like, just watch it. And it's like if the Fast and Furious was about like high school karate kids. It is so over the top. It is so violent. Like there's just karate wars in the high school, and like I can't get enough of it. Like it's strangely addictive because they're just these like little half-hour things, and the seasons aren't long either. I want to say like 9 to 12 episodes. I may be totally wrong. It's been like a couple of years since the last season, but like I blew through it in like a week.
Everyone's been saying to watch this show, but this is the first time I've heard it described as Fast and Furious with karate. So
like, physics don't make sense. They're flipping over balconies. Kids are like kicking through windows. Like it's unhinged behavior. And I'm like, I can watch this while I'm eating my lunch every day.
Denisha, Sarah, you guys are really convincing me here. Fast X, the TV show with karate, like, come on, I'm into it. Let's go. Let's run it. No, I'm so down for that, Denisha. I do gotta watch it at some point. I love the movies so much. The Karate Kid movies, just part of my childhood. Would love to check those out at some point. So, thanks for the recommendation, everybody. I do appreciate it. Aiden V is hanging out with us tonight. What's up, Aiden? How's it going? Yo. Thanks for being here, dude. Appreciate you. Noah's also with us saying, hey, Jake, Radio Silence directing. Matt Bettinelli open. Tyler Gillette should return to the film, direct Scream 7 and the franchise. Well, here that's another question I want to throw at you, Sarah. Like, now Christopher Landon's out of the picture. Who do you think steps into the director's chair if Spyglass decides to continue with this?
God, I was actually giving this some thought the other day because I have mixed feelings on Christopher Landon. First of all, I love him. Like, I think he's a great director. I had no issues with him directing Scream. I just felt that I kind of knew the route he would go. Like, when you look at his other work, I mean, it is very Scream inspired, but it's always, like teens, older teens, like very young adult. He tends to write for like a younger audience, which isn't like a bad thing at all. It's just like, I felt like I knew where it was going. And like, I feel terrible that he left the way he did. Like, we all knew how excited he was for this. Like, he was even on Craven's channel talking about how excited he was for this. So I feel terrible that he had to leave under these circumstances, but I am kind of excited to see who they would pick and what their style would be. I'd be hoping for this would never happen, but imagine what Mike Flanagan would do if he was attached to a Scream project.
He loves ghost stories, and this is very close. Ghost face. It's something.
He just has a way of writing with a more mature voice. He tends to also weave a really good narrative. You're always thinking. I never find his twists expected. He's done some stuff that was catered towards like a younger crowd, and it went over really well. Like I think he did the Midnight Club.
Yeah.
It wasn't my like preferred show. Like I'm a Haunting of Hill House kind of gal, but like he can write a story really well. I always love his characters. So if he was like attached somehow, I think we would get great characters.
And, you know, while I like Screams 5 and 6 for, like, trying to, you know, bring in, like, the new young audience, I'm kind of with you where I kind of want to see more mature stories centered around a Ghostface attack. Just to get some variety, you know what I mean? It's almost always been young, you know, like teen or like young people, young adult oriented stories with these movies. Let's try to dive into some other realms, you know what I mean? Like, what about just I'm not saying like put like just old men, you know, like just with walkers, but I'm just saying like what you're saying essentially, more mature stories with maybe that are a little more straightforward versus like Christopher Landon's more goofier tone, which no problem with that. I have no issue with it, but it would have maybe felt too familiar. So I'm kind of with you. I like Radio Silence too, but they made 2 movies already. You know what I mean? They're done. I think they don't want to make any more. So I feel you on that one. I like that. Zoe Crawford is hanging out in the chat. What's up, dog? He's saying hi, Dad. Zoe, if you want to hop on, man, you know you are always welcome. I just hope you know that. Zoe is fantastic, always a great guest, a hilarious fella. So
we stand Zoe in this house.
We stand Zoe in this house. I'm gonna send him the link, and you know maybe he'll pop in. You never know. You know that's the most fun thing about doing streams is that you never know who's gonna pop in. So there we go. All right.
Yeah, I don't want it to lose like the charm of the others because there is a fine line. They're dancing with camp a lot of the times. Some sequels more than others. So I don't want it to be like an insanely serious movie, but just like age it up a little. Like it was great. I know some people don't like 3, but in 3 like the main cast was older. Like they weren't just teens in high school, and I think that they did a lot with them, and I liked that. It was like a more mature like theme. Like it was a dark movie. Like if camp aside, like the actual like storyline's pretty dark, and I loved it.
No, it really is. That's something I love about 3 is like most of the characters. One of the strongest side characters I think in any Scream movie is Parker Posey, like without a doubt. I mean, she's so funny.
Until I die.
Hell yeah. I remember seeing some people on Twitter who were like, bring her back. Like everyone's talking about Stu and Jill. Bring Parker Posey back into the franchise. And I'm like, I hate that I'm not against this. She's excellent.
Camp it up.
She's so good in Beau is Afraid too. I don't know if you've seen. Sarah. I don't think that's a movie that you would like, but she's excellent in that film though. Like so well done. I don't know.
I would see it just for her. I do kind of watch stuff when she's in it, like Blade Trinity. She killed it. Like it was very Jennifer Jolie actually, and I loved it. So I would watch that for her. But I agree. I don't think that movie would be for me.
It wasn't even like, it was too much for me. Like, and I'm the guy who's like, make things grosser. It was too much for me. I was like, I don't think I'll ever watch that movie again. That was far too much.
If you thought something was gross, I'd simply pass away.
Yes. No, it was, I've never had a movie induce more anxiety upon me ever in my life.
No. Like everybody in the chat, we just did a podcast on Final Destination. That is my gore level. That is my taste level. Anything gorier than that is a lot for me.
Yeah, and you were even saying, you were like, I like the gore here, but you're not crazy about it in other franchises.
The thing that differentiates it is like gore versus torture. Like now that I'm older, I don't like being in pain. I don't like picturing other people in pain, but like I don't mind violence. It's a weird line to try to explain my like level of acceptable gore in a movie. It's just when it bleeds over into like torture, that's not for me. If like everybody's getting blown up, like bring it on.
Did you like Thanksgiving from November or no?
I liked it. I found the actual Thanksgiving dinner scene unnecessarily gory, but like everything else about it, it was fun.
Hell yeah!
It's like a 5 or 6 out of 10.
Cool, very cool. That's appropriate. That's good stuff. It's not my favorite Eli Roth movie, I'm gonna be honest, but I do really liked it. It was a really fun film. I like the whodunit elements, and it was cool to see Patrick Dempsey back in a horror flick too. I thought.
Yeah, I will say, the thing that kind of bummed me out was like I guessed it was him like right off the bat. So then like the whole movie I kind of was just like focusing on trying to figure out if I was like right about it or not.
I was really hoping, I was thinking that since the trailer, you know what I mean? And I thought about like what they did with 5 and 6 is like they cast these big names from just other projects,
Exactly.
and of course they become the killer. And it's the same thing here. I was like, who's the biggest name in this movie? It's like, well. Also, if you haven't seen the movie yet, watch it. Watch Thanksgiving. It's so much more than just a killer reveal, I promise.
Yeah, the chase scene through the like hair studio or like makeup studio, I thought that was great.
Yeah. Oh, that was excellent. That was very tense. Oh.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of Eli Roth movies don't get quiet like that and build tension. You know, they kind of just get right to it. So I appreciated that. A little
Just
maturity there.
Screaming and cannibalism and all that. So this was like nice. He like held back a little.
Absolutely, for sure. Oh, for sure. No, I really enjoyed it. It was a fun one. Julie is saying Gary is a sad, stinky little man. That doesn't really, influence a talking point here, but I just thought it was really funny. Julie, good commentary on the situation. Solid, very, very solid stuff. Wayne Turner is with us as well, saying hi all. It's 11:35 a.m. here in Sydney, Australia. Oh, that's awesome. I want to go to Australia so bad. Me and Wayne have got to go get a beer or something. On a Friday, not the 13th, Killjoy Jake to direct Scream 7 from the makers of Red Right Hand. Dude, like, listen, as much as I've been shit talking Spyglass, like, I would do it. I'm that much of a shill. I'm so kidding. Wayne, thank you so much for the comment, though. I really do appreciate you, man.
Hey Wayne, I hope your ankle's better. Hope surgery went well. Things are good. I'm never going to Australia because I'm scared of sharks and spiders, so see ya.
That's so fair, though. I mean, have you seen a huntsman spider? Fuck
Everything
that.
there kills you. I'm not going. I got a lot to live for.
I've heard like people from Australia talk about huntsman spiders. They're like, yeah, it's just whatever. He's just a fella hanging out, and they're like this big. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, it's just the size of a small dog, and I'm like, no thanks.
I see like a little black spider here or something, and I like run out of the room. Like I can't even do that. So it's scary stuff. No way. Anthony J is saying Chad gets his own movie. Sarah, I gotta say, I don't know if you know about this or not, but do you know Mason Gooding has his own like gaming YouTube channel?
No, I didn't.
I just found this out today, and he has like people from Scream 6 like on the stream with him. Like he did one with like Tony Revolori. They're playing Mortal Kombat together. I'm like, what? This is so cool.
Watch that later.
It's so fun. Like they're so funny, and they're just being so super candid and stuff. It's great. Like I'm like, this is fantastic.
I will say he seems like a genuinely like nice human, so that doesn't surprise me. That's cool.
He really is, and you can just tell that from any video or interview that he's in. He's just always so positive. I love it. I love it so much. He seems like a great guy. Aiden saying, what's the worst thing you think they would do for Scream 7? Sarah, I'll throw that to you. What do you think is the worst thing they could possibly do?
I mean, what else really could they do? Like, fire Courtney Cox? Like, fire anybody who has any attachment to the original? Like,
they've committed all the sins.
Steps would be.
They've already committed all the sins. It's like, what else could they possibly do at this point?
You know what? I just thought of it. The worst thing that they could do is recast Sam and Tara and the people that were in 5 and 6 and just pretend like nothing happened and just go forward. I think that's the worst thing.
Because it would only be like the Carpenter sisters, right? And you would still have like the Meeks Martin twins there or something.
No,
it's like,
what?
what?
If they would even want to be attached. Maybe we have new twins. Like, that's crazy to me. I don't even want to put that in the universe. I'm so sorry.
I know. Don't even speak that into existence, Sarah. Honestly, what was going through my head when I read this was like, what if they do like a Halloween Resurrection style sequence where it's like Sydney dies or something right at the beginning, and I'm like, I'd lose my mind.
Don't
I would like
speak that into existence.
I know we gotta get off this subject. I'm sorry, Aiden.
It's been great. Kill it out there.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. We're not talking to you anymore. I'm kidding. I'm so kidding. Hollywood Guys throwing $5 out there. Dude, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Can I scroll down to the comment? Will my mouse allow that? There we go. Hollywood Guys saying, Jake, how about they make a Gale and the Meeks twins? Wow, reading is hard. Scream 7 with Chad as Ghostface. Well, he's indestructible, so I mean, he's a good candidate for Ghostface. What are your thoughts on that, Sarah?
So if like Gail, Chad, and Mindy, if like the actors were down with going back and were like paid fairly and it was a good story, I would watch that. I just wouldn't have Chad as Ghostface. Like throw in Kirby and they're doing their own thing. It seems weird to me to have other members of the core four without the sisters. Like I don't know how they would make that work.
Yeah, that's a big thing for me. I've been saying for a while, 2 points there. Like with the core four, you gotta have all of them. I mean, I think they're just kind of a unit at this point. They've been established that way in Scream 6. They do great together in that film, in my opinion. But I can't see any of them going Ghostface. I know some people have said like Mindy could be a Ghostface, and I'm like, I think she's just kind of mean as like a defense mechanism, not necessarily like she's actually like that and like really has a hatred towards humanity or something. But I don't know. That's just my take. Could you see Mindy going Ghostface potentially?
I don't think so. I just generally I don't see any of the core four like ever being a Ghostface. Like I know for a long time they were talking about like Sam's dark arc, but I never saw it.
That was the only route I'm like, maybe if they write it correctly. But even then, like you could mess that up. You could mess that up big time. You know, that's an ambitious route to go down. So it's tough. It's a tough situation. So Hollywood Guy though, I'm down for Gale to come back. I've said it before a few times, like a Gale or like a Kirby focused movie that could work.
I totally agree. Hollywood Guy, Gale would be great. Bring her back if it makes sense. That's the caveat to everything I'm gonna say tonight is if it makes sense and everybody feels good about it, I'm down.
Then run it. Then make it happen. Hollywood Guy, thanks for the $5. I really do appreciate it, man. Thanks for the support. Appreciate you. And yeah, I mean, just getting into that, whatever they do next, I just hope it makes sense. I hope it's a story worth telling. A reboot is probably the most likely route, which I don't know if I'm happy about. Like, I think in a couple of years I would be okay with a Scream reboot, but not under these circumstances. But whatever happens next, I just hope it works. I hope it makes sense.
I think regardless of what happens, I think Austin said it really well earlier, like, if a new studio picked it up and rebooted it, maybe sprinkled in a Gale or a Kirby, like, that's probably best case scenario. Or honestly, if, like, Neb was open to returning, if, like, the studio's changed, great. But as it is, even with Spyglass, like, they're going to need to take a beat. Like, it's probably going to be 2 years at least until they figure their life out.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, there's no way it could come out next year at this point. I mean, they don't have a script. I mean, if they did have a Scream 7 script, it's like they had to throw that out pretty much. Right. You can't just fire the two main characters, you know?
You can't use like a spec script for a Scream. Like, you need to write a Scream.
Yeah, you gotta plan out your ghost faces. You gotta leave clues. You know, there's gotta be red herrings. There's so much that goes into a Scream script that gets overlooked. And I think it's really the minutia of these movies that make them. I think that's why a lot of people weren't crazy about 6, because the mystery is just not there where it is in some of the other films.
I do have a question for you, I guess, and anybody in the chat. How do you guys feel about them talking about like bringing the TV series into like the actual franchise?
Well, yeah, throw that out. We'll throw that out to the chat too. What does everyone think about that? Because I've heard this a few times. I'm really not against it. I just, like, for me, I don't know. This is just my little criticism of the Scream TV series. I like the characters. They work for me, but they're just not at the level of some of the movie characters. Personally, like that's my only thing about it. I love a lot of the twists and turns in the especially those first 2 seasons, and the kills. Oh. Love the kills in the TV show. Like, some of them are actually better than some of the movies.
That surprised me. So I haven't seen the 3rd season because I knew it was like with different people and I wasn't into that. But I saw like the first 2 seasons and that little like Halloween movie special they did. So it was like all the same characters, and I do really like them. And the kills were like unexpectedly gory, like for TV. And I was down. I have heard 3 is good, so I might give it a watch if I'm looking for something. But yeah, like I didn't mind the TV series, and if they found a way to incorporate like a select few of them into a movie, I'd be down.
I think the mystery is really good, and like, I'll say what I have my qualms and all that about the character writing, but like the way they wrote the mystery in those first 2 seasons, I'm really impressed. I was really impressed. Like, for TV, I'm like, damn, okay, that's pretty good. But the kills are excellent. I would hope that if they're going to bring the Lakewood thing into into the movies. Like, let's say Kirby, you know, is dealing with these people or something. Like, that's what they want to mix the movies and the show together. I would just hope that they have it under a director who knows how to make these characters even more interesting. That was my biggest complaint about the show. If there was any room for improvement, personally. And it's not even like, I'm not even trying to say like, oh, these are the worst characters I've ever seen. No, I've seen The Final Destination, and that's the worst characters I've ever seen. But,
Yes.
But I just think they pale in comparison to the movies. That's my only thing.
Oh my gosh, I love Jennifer. Hey girl. She's just like, I hate that idea. Flat out. Nope.
She's like, no. Fucking
Jennifer
Sarah, what the hell? Okay. She said, I hate the idea of bringing the TV series. Hate it. Let the series be its own thing. Don't merge them. Totally fair. I mean, I think it is its own. As it stands, it is its own thing right now. So some people really dig that. Jennifer is clearly one of them. Ryan saying standalone Scream movie, just middle of nowhere. Just have this be its own thing. Sarah, I'll throw that to you first. There's a positive and negative to that. I personally feel. But what are your thoughts about that?
Oh. So when all of this started, before we really unraveled and we just found out that like Melissa and Jenna weren't returning, I was on board with the people who wanted to kind of backtrack and do an in-between, basically like Saw X, like right after 4. I was like super down for that because, you know me, any excuse to get more Dewey, like more legacy. I was so down for that. Having one standalone movie, I don't know. I also have mixed feelings because I do like how things kind of always tie back to the originals. The other side of that is that's going to get old soon. We're on movie 7. Like, things can't always be. So I think we do eventually need to start a new story. I don't know how like standalone installments would work in this universe. Because like even something like The Purge, which seems like they're not really connected, they still kind of are. Like, I think you're always going to need a through line in a franchise. So
some kind of consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that. I think my thing with the standalone Scream is that you would need some kind of tie or some kind of recognition to the other films. Because it's like, Ghostface is a thing because of Billy and Stu. You know what I mean? So like, I think your killers, you're always going to be tied to that in some way, shape, or form, but you can do it in an original way that hasn't been done yet. Like, I've pitched I've made so many videos on how they could do it and still make it to a sense. I'm not saying that I would be the one to write a Scream movie. Trust me, I'm not. I'm 25 years old. I've barely written anything that I'm proud of. But I think that there's ways that they could do it where it could work. It could evolve into something that could be a standalone. But the thing I'm worried about with the current circumstances and situation is that it just wouldn't be good. It wouldn't make sense to exist. And that's such an important thing with sequels nowadays. I don't know if you saw this or not, but like Discussing Film posted this thing where it's like all the continuations that are coming next year. And like, I'm excited for 30% of them, but then the other 70%, I'm just like, these don't need to happen. You know, like, I love these franchises. They're great, but we didn't need an Indiana Jones 5.
Toy Story 5?
Yeah, Toy Story 5. I'm like, what? Like, Toy Story ended with the 3rd movie, man. I like 4. It's fun, but it's completely unnecessary. So if this is the story, like if Screams 1 through 6, that's the story, your epilogue is 6, your real ending is like maybe 4 or 5 or whatever. Or I guess technically 3, 4, 4, 5, and 6 really are the epilogue, right? Then that's fine, cool, whatever. But I just hope if 7 happens, it's good, it's worth my time, it's something that the fans will like, and that's why I can't believe I'm saying this. Even if it's the Stew Train stuff, I know a lot of fans would really enjoy that. So I'm like, okay, at least it makes sense. It's not for me, but it makes sense. Hollywood Guy is saying, Jake and Sarah, who do you want to see directing the new Scream? And you're saying Eli Roth or Jordan Peele. What do you think about those choices, Sarah? Eli Roth, Thanksgiving, or maybe Jordan Peele approach in this?
I'm more Jordan Peele than I am Eli Roth. I thought the characters in Thanksgiving were like some of the weaker parts of the movie. Like, I didn't connect with like any of the main like 4 or 5 of them. Like, I didn't care if they lived or died. And like, that's like the big part of Scream for me is like, I'm rooting for these people. Of course, I know most of them are going to be or should be cannon fodder. But like I still want to like miss them. And I feel like characters aren't Eli Roth's like bag of tricks. Jordan Peele, on the other hand, I really usually like his characters, even though some of his movies like aren't for me. But like I loved Nope. And like I loved the characters. Like they were so well written. So like that would be kind of fun.
I would be down for a Jordan Peele Scream. I think the biggest thing that he understands is how to incorporate, well, characters, absolutely, but how to incorporate a message into your movie without it feeling like it's being shoved down your throat. That's such an important thing, especially with Scream 2, which always, always has a message if it's about, but it's more so about horror movies. He could do that really well. I think that would translate. I just don't feel like Scream is a project Peele is interested in, or maybe I'm wrong. You know, he loves Nightmare on Elm Street. I know that. Like he's talked like egregiously about how much he just loves that movie. He thinks it's great. He has a mad respect for Wes Craven. So I mean, maybe, but he did opt to not direct that Candyman reboot from a couple of years ago. Gave it to Nia DaCosta instead.
I did not like that reboot.
It was the ending really ruined it for me. The cinematography, the score, a lot of the characters did it for me up until the third act. I was like, this is fantastic until it just kind of turned into whatever at the end. But I don't know. I really think I think that could work. I think that would be great if he was interested in the project, put his all into it. Who knows what the hell his next project's going to be? That just got like pushed off the 2024 slate out of absolutely nowhere.
I saw that.
Scary stuff, right? I want a new Jordan Peele movie like tomorrow. Come on. But Hollywood Guy, thanks for the $5, my friend. If I had to give my take on this, I would not be against an Eli Roth Scream. I think that if he was dealing with the old characters, I would like I don't think I would want to see like an Eli Roth reboot of Scream, because then that's just Thanksgiving. We've seen that movie. But if he made one with like the legacy characters, I'd be into that. Why not? You know, some brutal deaths, some maybe a good Ghostface reveal. Say what you want about Thanksgiving, but I really like the killer's motive. That was a big thing about it. I think it was obvious, but the motive, that was okay. Like I was like, I could get into that.
That's what tripped me up. Like I figured off the bat it was him, but I didn't figure out the motive. Like we knew that he had something going on with the wife, but like I thought this man just had a psychological break. Like he was trying to keep the order. Like as soon as he shot the gun off into the air, I was just like, he's lost his mind. He's the killer. He's gonna do whatever it takes to keep the peace next Black Friday.
Yeah, yes. And that to me was that's well done with the character. I mean, I'm with you, Sarah, that I like Addison Rae's character. I didn't find myself rooting for her. You know what I mean? I hate saying this because this is so mean, but I just don't feel like she's the best actress. You know, I don't. Is that mean? Like, it comes off as mean. Even I'm saying it. I'm like, God, I feel like such an asshole now. But I don't know, man. She's never done it for me in anything. So I think if you just had a stronger lead in that movie, it would have been like even more well done. But I loved the killer. Really, I really did. So. Hollywood Guy, though, thank you so much for the $5, man. Let's see Eli Roth take a crack at it. Maybe our legacy sequel we were just talking about.
I genuinely think it's going to be hard to get a new, how do I put this nicely, like, director of quality on Scream after, like, its name has basically been dragged through the mud. Like, who is really going to want to attach themselves to Scream 7 if it's still under Spyglass? If somebody else buys it and we're kind of starting fresh, we may get Christopher Landon back. Like, we may get somebody great. But if it's still Spyglass, like, who is going to do a good job that really wants to be on that movie?
And that's another big point about why I just don't think this next movie is going to be of quality if it's under Spyglass. Because like I said, I mean, the people who were involved with the last two movies that were so successful, they don't want to touch this thing with a 6-foot pole. So now whoever does it next, it's just not going to be anybody of quality. It's going to be someone who's looking for work, who like wants to be a part of something. And, you know, that's a gamble. It could be something good, but your chances are low is how I see it. So I think we're just going to get a cash in. Let's make some money off of this kind of film, and maybe our first bad Scream film, which is really unfortunate to say the least.
Yeah. And I will say, I told people right off the bat, like 5 and 6 are not for me. I don't think they're bad. They just were not made for me.
They don't have that. I mean, they don't have the 90s or thousands like aesthetic to them, like that a lot of those movies had. So that's something I've heard a lot of people say like about those movies. They just don't have the same feel. But I think they're well-made movies for what they are. So I'm like, I'm happy with that, you know. But I know they're not. You've said it a bunch of times. It's just not for you, and that's okay. That's all good.
I feel like I always need to like clarify this for like everybody, because if you say that like you're not a fan of them, people will automatically think that you think they're bad like movies. Like, I don't think there's a bad Scream movie. I just don't prefer to watch them over any of the others.
And like, I'm so with you about that, because like, even like, here's my thing. I'm not crazy about 3 because I just feel like there's a lot of things that clash, but I don't think it's a bad movie. Like, I genuinely think, all things considered, about what was going on behind the scenes with that one, with Harvey Weinstein constantly being like, nope, don't do that, don't do this, production problems, they still made a pretty damn good product, all things considered. And I'm like, that's impressive, dude. Any other director might not have been able to do something like that. So hats off to Wes Craven once again.
Yep.
So maybe it's not my preferred Scream film, but I respect the fuck out of that movie. It's crazy. Anthony J's just throwing $5 out there just to do it. And I gotta say, Anthony, thank you for that. I don't know if you meant to put something in the chat, but if you did, I'm gonna look for a chat and we're gonna throw it up there, man. So thank you so much for the support, dude. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Oh my God, we got so many chats. It's crazy. Can't even keep up with it.
I'm like trying to read them while I'm talking to you.
I appreciate all you guys coming in. Thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Mr. Rick is just became a new YouTube member as well. And Mr. Rick, you have like my favorite profile picture ever. I love this. This is from that ad that was making fun of the Nicole Kidman like AMC thing.
That was incredible.
So funny. I love it. So Mr. Rick, thank you for your support, man. And thanks for rocking a pretty damn awesome profile picture. Appreciate it, dude. I didn't
realize there's 76 people here. I'm just like off in my own little world. I was like, oh my God.
I'm very thankful. It's very good stuff. Everyone's off work. You know what I mean? Like who's working this week? Well, you just said you were actually. Oh no, you're off.
I'm off until the 2nd. Yeah.
I forgot already. We literally just had this conversation.
That's why we're just like chilling on a Thursday, because I'm off until the new year.
Hell yeah, Sarah. Good stuff. Very good stuff. Got to get that chilling in, you know?
Shout out to corporate Canada.
Yeah. Okay, wait. So here's another question before we get to Jennifer's thing. As a stupid American, this is another thing I don't know about Canada. So like over in Europe, they do like every like month or so, like they have like a 3-day weekend. Do they have that same situation in Canada? Is like America one of the only first world countries that just doesn't do that?
I mean, we don't explicitly have that, but like we have a lot of. How do I explain this to an American? You have states, we have provinces. I assume you have certain states that have certain regulations that are different than your country. So depending on where you work, you may follow provincial regulations or federal regulations or both. In some provinces have different holidays. And then if you work at a place where they want to make everything all copacetic, you'll celebrate everybody's holiday. So you do have like a day a month with just a random holiday.
See, like here in America, it's crazy. Like we have like entire months where you just don't have a 3-day weekend, you know? And like, I hate to, I don't know. Is this me complaining? Maybe a little bit, but it's like, you should have like at least once a month, like a break. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's just only fair to workers.
We have 13 holidays throughout the year. December is like the heaviest, but there's pretty much one a month.
See, that's pretty cool though. Like I know for a fact, like pretty much in March and February, for the most part, these months, like you don't really have anything. Like there's not anything super crazy like at the top of the year. So that's I don't know. It's a weird thing. I'm always curious about these weird little things. As the strange man that I am.
March is the only one where we in Nova Scotia don't have one. Each of the provinces have like a provincial holiday. Some call it Family Day. Some call it just like Nova Scotia Day, New Brunswick Day. Like we have Viola Desmond Day, and like mine's in February. So some have them in March. It depends where you live, but it basically works out to there's something every month.
Okay, that's shit. I didn't know about. I'm learning so much today. I just learned what Boxing Day was earlier.
I was shocked that you didn't have Boxing Day, so I'm just a stupid Canadian because it's huge. You guys have like your Black Friday. We have Boxing Day sales.
We should start that in America. We should adopt that. That would be very cool.
We're
we need more holidays.
More Americanized, so we also do like Black Friday here. Well, dude, our Thanksgiving's in October. Like,
Oh yeah, that's a good point too. Thanksgiving is technically more of an American holiday.
we're just
I didn't even think
literally
about
celebrating your shopping day, and we're just like, we'll do it too.
That's more holidays. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how I see it. Jennifer Armstrong's throwing $2 out there saying there isn't a bad Scream film. Let's not start now. Jennifer, like, speaking the words of truth, my friend. Oh my God. But Sarah, do you concur with that, or like you said, you don't hate 5 and 6? They're just not for you.
Yeah, I don't think there is a bad Scream film. My Scream is like the original trilogy, and I also sometimes include 4. But it's not like I didn't leave 6 being like, oh, that was a terrible movie. I was just like, all right, it happened. Let's see what happens next. Like, let's see where this goes. Like, it had cool kills. It's just, yeah. I personally just like really connected with like the legacy characters. So I just enjoy watching like 1 through 3.
Hell yeah. I'm hoping that whatever 7 does next, they try to go, like, there's certain elements that I feel like have been lost in, especially 6, like, that I hope that they get back to in 7, that they can borrow from the original trilogy. Like, just having something to comment on in the horror space. Like, that's something that 6 is more about, like, the franchise itself. It's like, let's comment on Scream, and I'm like, okay, that's cool, but we kind of did that in 5 a lot, you know what I mean? So I was kind of hoping to just do something else, like focus on some weird element to horror. Like, that's what basically 2 and 3 do really well. And I'm like, that's cool, like, let's find something. Let's see, like, what else can we make fun of in the space of horror right now that's popular. So hoping 7 gets back to that.
Like, it's not a bad thing if you like have to go back to the basics. Like, my biggest thing with 6 was I when 5 came out, I didn't like it. And no, not just because Dewey died, but yes, that was a big part of it. But in general, I was like, I don't vibe with this. But then when I saw 6, I realized in retrospect that I enjoyed 5 more. It was cleaner. It was easier to follow. It was just more well thought out. And like, sometimes you can do too much. And I think 6 was doing too much. I think just focus on like making a good character, making a good story, make the story make sense. Like, get your ducks in a row, like, fact check. Like, you were saying some stuff in 6 that just, the math wasn't mathin'. They were saying things that were just blatantly wrong. Like, just go back to basics and just make something that's really well done. Don't worry about people saying it was simple, because if it's done well, no one's going to care.
Yeah, and I like, what I like about 5 is that they hit on like the requel commentary a little more, which is cool. And then, like, I don't know, like 6 is just, like you said, it's a little all over the place. There are things I really like about the commentary in 6, but it's just, a lot of it feels like we're going back to what we've already said, where we're treading ground that has already been gone over. I love that every movie up until 6, yeah, fuck it, I'm just gonna say that. Pretty much, like, they all kind of hit on something else. 4 is about remakes, 3 is about trilogies, and the Harvey Weinstein situation, incognito. I love that. That's interesting stuff. So I don't know. I'm hoping that we get back to that in 7 and just. I mean, it could be something so fucking niche and weird, but people would, like, horror fans would still get it. This is the franchise for horror nerds. Run it. Do something weird, man. Let's see what happens. Jennifer, though, thank you so much for the $2. I really do appreciate your support, my friend. Adam's house is with us tonight. Adam, I always appreciate your comments. Adam always has some very strong opinions on things, and I love reading them. Adam's saying, my biggest issue with the OGs, I love them, but Randy got killed too soon. Then Cotton took his place, then got unalived. Before I go any further, can I just say, like, with my name being Killjoy Jake, I thought I was going to get, like, demonetized for that being in there. I haven't yet. Things okay. You can't say that word now on social media. You get taken down. I don't know what I don't know. To me, it's like, how can you run a horror page and not say that word? It's crazy. I could connect to Dewey, Sydney, and Gail like I could with Randy. I don't know if I agree with that, Adam. I really connect especially with Sydney and Dewey. I like that Gail is just kind of like really bitchy. Like, that's funny to me. But Sarah, what's your take on that?
So this is going to sound like I'm contradicting myself when I say this, but like, I think Randy's death was like impactful. I do feel like sometimes you need to kill a legacy. My issue with them killing Dewey was I don't like the way they went about it at all. And that's that's something for another conversation. But I think Randy kind of had to die to give it some like real impact. And I love how they brought him back in 3. Like, I think that's really smart. I didn't connect to Randy the same way I connected to like Dewey. So maybe that's why I wasn't as hurt. Like, it was more of a shock. Like, when Dewey died, I was just like, well, it's over for me. Like, I got nothing left in me. But when Randy died, it was just like shocking. So that may be the difference there. But yeah, I connect more to the trio than any of the other characters.
My only thing about Randy dying is like, I just imagine Scream 3, but Randy running around a stab set. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much opportunity for like funny moments there. Like, I really could have used that. That would have been a lot of fun. I think I would like Scream 3 even more if like you just had a scene of him just running around being like, oh my God, like this is it. This is where it the magic happens. There's so much opportunity there. So I think I would have kept him alive until 3, but killed him in that film versus 2. I think that's kind of my one. If I could make one change to the original trilogy, honestly, that's where I would start. Even though with my feelings of Mrs. Loomis, that is my number one thing I would change.
I will say his video scene in 3 is one of my favorite parts of the movie. Like, it was perfect.
Oh yeah, it's so funny, and I don't know if you've seen the assembly cut of 3.
Mm-hmm.
I love all the extra stuff in there. Like, that was like one of my favorite parts of being able to watch that. He makes the Star Wars joke. Like, that's excellent. That's so funny.
That and the workings of the voice changer. I wish they would have kept those 2 pieces in. I personally don't have an issue with the voice changer. I'm like, we've suspended disbelief enough, but I think it added a little bit to it for the people who take issue with it.
Like, there's something about just showing Ghostface using it in like what appears to be like this secret evil lair. It just makes it I don't know, it flavors it in a way that makes it feel like this fun Batman villain, which works really well with that very campy movie. Yeah. I wish they would have kept that. I really don't know why it was cut. It's placed in a weird spot. Like, that should be at like the beginning of the movie instead of right dead set in the middle, you know? We got a few more comments I want to get to. A lot of people are jumping in. Really appreciate you guys. Reagan McNeil is saying, off topic, Jake, but I had to say congrats to my fave horror movie of all time, The Exorcist, turning 50 years old. Linda Blair Reagan, love. Some hearts, I like it. The Exorcist forever. Reagan, I know you haven't been in, I haven't seen you in the streams in a while, so welcome. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. What did you think of The Exorcist Believer, just out of curiosity? I'm curious what your thoughts are on that. Reagan has been around on the channel for a little while and is a huge fan of The Exorcist, as you can tell. So I'm curious. Please put your thoughts in there about that new movie. I'm really curious. Really curious what you had to think about that one. Old School is saying Sam is definitely a ghost face, though. Ooh, some challenges there. So Sarah, you're not crazy about Sam going ghost face, but like, do you think that would ever be a possibility that the writers would entertain?
They may, like, honestly, like, I'm neutral on it. I don't see it happening, because if they do want to like have her as this like new final girl, like basically like the new Sydney, I don't think they would ever like turn her character. Like, I don't have a problem with it. I think it would be like interesting, but it just wouldn't make sense. Like, she's so protective over Tara and like her friends, and she was willing to like give up her life to protect the others. I can't see her flipping that dramatically.
And you know, we're talking about it in like a conventional sense. Like, if they just revealed her as Ghostface at the end, I would hate that too. Like, that's insane. Like, that just wouldn't happen with the story that's already been presented. But like, my pitch was always like, well, what if she was, you know, killing, like doing it for good reason, you know, killing people across America who were like talking online about killing their friends as Ghostface. Like, that I could get into, but like, yeah, if they go that route, that doesn't make sense at all. You know, that's like if Sydney became Ghostface. Like, that makes no sense, you know? I can't get into that personally. So I'm definitely with you there for sure. So, but Old School, I'm not against a Ghostface focused movie, as most of you already know. So, James River CFC Reviews, thank you so much for the support, my friend. I really appreciate you. Saying, regardless how you feel about 5 and 6, if 7 ever happens, I don't have faith in Spyglass for them to deliver on any level with all the drama.
Yep. You're right.
We all seem to be on the same in the same boat about this, which is interesting. Despite how you feel about the firings, it seems like a lot of people are just have lost their faith in Spyglass to deliver a good horror movie, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
Not really much else to say there. It's just like, yeah.
I'm just like, no notes. I don't know.
No notes, James River, dude. You're spot on, dog. Yeah, I mean, that's how we're all feeling. Honestly, a question I want to throw back at like just the audience and you, Sarah, is like, what other studio would you want to see do it?
Could it go just to Paramount? They put out some stuff. They're like, I know that they're like attached. That would probably be like the easiest transition. But like, I wouldn't mind a Lionsgate if we're being honest. Like, they do some cool stuff. I know that like the default is probably like Blumhouse, but like Blumhouse is so hit or miss that I don't know how I would feel. Like, Blumhouse has a vibe, and it's not the Scream vibe.
I totally agree. And what's interesting about that, you just brought up like the parent company to Spyglass. Mm-hmm. There's a big difference between like a subsidiary doing a movie versus your parent company. Like when Universal puts out a horror movie, it's usually pretty good. Usually, not all the time, but it's usually pretty good. Think the last two Jordan Peele movies, you know. But then like Blumhouse is a subsidiary of Universal. And they don't, they're pretty hit or miss and mostly misses in my opinion. So it's like, it really is two different companies, even though one's owned by the other. So, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities for Spyglass to give it up to like a parent company or something like that. So that's entirely possible. That makes a little more sense than just giving it to another studio entirely. So,
yeah, but I'm thinking the route they'll go is they might get rid of it, but they would try to keep it in the family because at the end of the day, they just all want to make money.
They do. It's unfortunate. I wish we would make movies because we're passionate about them, but that's just not how the world works, unfortunately, right? James, though, I really appreciate the support, my friend. You're spot on. Nothing else to say about it, unfortunately.
No notes.
No notes. Lollipop Sanchez is throwing $2 out there asking about the Strangers trilogy. Sarah, I don't think we've ever talked about the Strangers. Like we've talked about a lot of slashers together, but never this one. I don't think. What are your thoughts on the Strangers and the new trilogy coming up?
So baseline, I like the Strangers. I think home invasions are terrifying. So I'll usually watch a movie involving them. I really like Prey at Night. And like, I don't think enough people talk about it. Like, it's really good. Like, I was very invested in this poor family.
Yes. Oh my God. Honestly, to date, it is my favorite Johannes Roberts movie. Like, I think it's fantastic. It is an excellent continuation, not doing exactly the same thing, but it works as a franchise continuation. And I'm such a stickler about that. Don't do the same movie twice, And Strangers Prey at Night has an entirely different tone from the previous film, which I love. But now this new trilogy is coming out though, and they're talking about like basically this first one, chapter 1, is going to be a remake of the original. What are you rolled your eyes there?
Like the two combined, it's like a love child of 1 and 2. So I am excited that it's like a confirmed trilogy. That obviously means the main character at least survives, the first 2, which I don't hate knowing. A lot of people, they took issue with that. But I'm kind of comforted that I'll know that at least one person that we see will survive and probably have like a through arc of all 3 of them. Down with that. I'm concerned that they're going to try to pump them out like really fast, like back to back. Things that are filmed like all together like that sometimes don't work out, like, so maybe don't rush them. It's like, we know they're coming, we'll be waiting.
we'll be waiting. I couldn't agree more with that. Like, I don't get this whole approach of just making 3 movies all at the same time. I mean, like, me personally, I loved the Fear Street movies that went to Netflix.
Yes,
but I do feel like that third one could have been better. You know what I mean? Like, I love the first 2, but that third one, what was going on there, man? Like, I don't know.
That exactly. Like, I really liked 1. 2 was incredible. The first half of like the third one, it was just too much flashback. We could have focused on more story on the back end and like wrapped it all together. It had so much potential.
And like, I just imagine what if that first one came out and was like a hit, people loved it, and they spent like a whole year working on the next one, and then that one was also really good, and then the third one could have been great too if they just would have taken their time, made it something special. I don't get just being like, yeah, we're gonna do a trilogy, and we're gonna put them all in the theaters at the same time. I'm like, what? That's too much movie. Like, oh my god, that's crazy.
Right?
Spread it out.
We have a better idea. Like, what happens?
That's
if
why.
in and we have this like great epiphany, like, and like some major actor is like, please involve me in your project. Like, it's
precisely
just lost opportunities.
Yes. Oh my god. Like I couldn't agree more. Like, yeah, what if some big celebrity, like what if Snoop Dogg is like, I love The Strangers Chapter 1, and for whatever fucking reason, like decides to be in Chapter 2. Well, guess what? You have a lot more people coming to that movie.
I was about to be like, listen, Helen Mirren, all about family. What if she decides she wants to be in this?
I know this is not horror related, but Fast X Part 2, I'm counting the days, Sarah. I'm going to be there opening night. Like, I cannot wait.
2025 can't come fast enough.
It simply cannot. Oh my god. If there's any franchise continuation, I'm really still excited for it. Oh my god. But I'm with you there. I'm excited for this first one. I hope it's good. You know, I love The Strangers. I really hope this doesn't tarnish that franchise because wow, those first two movies are fantastic. So, hoping that these three can stand the test, you know? Hopefully. Fingers crossed. But Lollipop Sanchez, I did just do a little video talking about this. If you want to know my, not off the cuff live stream response, go check that out if you haven't seen it. Thank you for the $2, my friend. I really appreciate your support. Got a few people in the chat as well that I haven't said hi to, so I want to say hello to y'all. Jaden Jones, what's up, dog? How's it going? What's up, man? We're talking a little Scream 7, so just throw your thoughts about the current situation in the chat below, and we'll get to them.
75 of you. Thanks for being here.
We appreciate you all. Thanks for hanging out with us on this lonely Thursday at the bottom of the year. That sounded really sad. I don't know why. It's really just, it's a sad, dreary Thursday afternoon, I guess. I don't know. But we're making it fun, Sarah. That's what matters. Tiara Joseph is saying Scream 7 should have been Gail hosting a reality TV show with all the Scream survivors with Sam as the lead. This is sounding too Halloween Resurrection for me. I'm just thinking like the Myers house, they're filming everything. No, I'm so kidding. But I love the idea of Gail being a focal point. Not against that. I was hoping for that with 6. Tell you what.
That is like top 3 gripes of 6 is their treatment of Gail. So I would hate for her to never come back to the franchise because I hate the way we left her.
Yeah, I really thought like with her setup after 5, right? Like being in New York City, having a show and all that would be a huge set piece for 6 at the very least. And we didn't even get that. I was kind of shocked, honestly. I get that they wanted to focus on the new characters a little more, but balance that out a little bit, like have the chase scene. The chase scene should have been at like the set. Like Gail gets off work, and then just like Ghostface is coming after her. There's so much opportunity there. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but.
And you're going to leave her status unknown. All we have is Danny, who we met 2 damn minutes ago, being like, Gail's fine. Is she?
I don't trust him. Yeah.
Like, what are your qualifications? Like, where'd you find this out?
He's just nice boyfriend, and the Scream franchise has told us not to trust the nice boyfriend. So
now we'll never know.
Damn it, Gary Barber. We'll never know now. Evil Connor agrees that Lionsgate is a good choice. I'm very much so with you on that, Sarah. I think they did an excellent job with Saw X. I mean, I think that's, for me, that's more about like the creatives behind the team, but it seems like this is a good studio to pump out some horror flicks. So yeah. I'm with you there. Hell yeah. Evil Connor, thanks for being with us tonight. I really appreciate you. And thanks for being a supporter of the page. Thank you. Extron Voltron is with us as well. I don't know what you're talking about, but appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with us.
And we're talking a lot of Dewey Chad stabbings, and like,
how did he live?
What's happening? Yeah.
Craven's argument for that is so funny. I love it. I don't know if I'm 100% if I agree with him 100%, but I love it. He's like, Dewey got stabbed like a couple of times and then came back. Chad got like every vital organ in his body pierced at one point in that film and lived. It's so funny. He's incredulous about that sequence.
Blood loss alone, Chad should have died in 5. This man was like stabbed everywhere in 5 and left for however long that 3rd act was outside just bleeding. But he comes back, no scars, no limp, just a little scared. Like, I digress.
The dude has mastered keeping blood in his body, and you know what? Yeah, just patch it up all the holes. He always has duct tape on him. You know, that's what we didn't know. But there's a deleted scene in 5, you know, where he just like gets it all around him. We just didn't see it.
Flat and hope it stays in.
You know, that's what it was. He was just laying down perfectly in the grass, and just it didn't come out of him. That's so funny. Mr. Rick has thrown $2 out there. Thank you so much, dude. Can't wait for Saw 11. I enjoyed Saw 10. Sarah, I think we talked about this on stream the other night, but my brain is all cloudy. Were you a fan of the latest Saw film?
I did. It is my favorite of the franchise.
Whoa, awesome. Okay.
Like I said earlier, gore is not my thing. A lot of the Saws, not for me. I really liked this one. I love a revenge story. I told you The Equalizer is like one of my favorite franchises. Like, I do love like a revenge story. I liked this one.
So I told my parents that Saw 10 was a Christmas movie. and I made them watch it on Christmas. My mom loved it. Like, my dad enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, but my mom loved Saw X. She's like, I have to watch all of these now. So me and her are gonna binge some Saw movies at some point. Oh, I had to get that into the world. I had to tell people about that. It's just too funny.
No, I could never. My dad gets queasy at the sight of blood. Like, I could never watch like a Saw or like a Final Destination with him.
Oh, even Final Destination? Okay.
Like, any blood at all. Like, we were watching something and somebody was like getting stitches and he was like, I was like, you okay, Dad? Am I good to like go home and leave you here? You can pass out, put your feet up.
Oh my God. You know, honestly, what's funny about that is like, I've seen so much horror, you know, like just gore doesn't really affect me that much anymore. I don't know if I've ever told this on stream before or not, but after work about 2 years ago, I had like this big chunk of porcelain fall out of my shower and land right in my foot. Yeah, no, it was terrifying. Like, I didn't even really react. I'm like, wow, that hurts. I got to get to the hospital. But I wasn't like, oh my God, you know, I wasn't losing my mind. I was just like, yeah, that's gross. Okay, I got to get to the hospital. They stitched me up. I was just like, all right, let's go. Put the boot on. let's make this work.
You were in shock. I feel like you were in shock.
I think I was, and I just haven't externalized it or something yet. I don't know.
Oh my God.
But I just remember being like, oh, that sucks. Got to go to the hospital. Damn, you know, and just this big fucking hunk of porcelain in my foot. Crazy.
The show goes on.
The show goes on. Yeah, I don't know. Just no reaction. I was like, I really thought I would be freaking out a little more over this, but I guess not. But yes, I saw X, kick ass, loved it. It's in my top 5 of the year. Killer movie. Mr. Rick, I'm also very excited for entry number 11. I hope it's a lot like Saw X too in the way that they did the storytelling. So I'm with you there, man. Thanks for the $2. Really appreciate you. Thank you. Slashing It with Matt is with us as well. Thanks, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Really appreciate the $2, dude. Appreciate you a whole bunch. Me and Matt are recording a podcast tomorrow. Really excited to talk a little bit about some stuff. We're talking about movies that are coming out next year that we're excited for. So I'm excited for it. Heck yeah. So check out Sarah's podcast. The one we recorded today is coming out tomorrow, talking about Final Destination. And then we're talking about that one with Matt too. I'll probably have that up on the second page on New Year's, maybe. No promises, but we'll see. See how much work I can get done in a couple days. But Matt, thank you so much for the $2, man. I really do appreciate your support, dude. As always. Thank you. Oh my God, there's so many comments.
There's still 75 people here.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We're just bullshitting about Scream, you know? Gonna be honest, no updates, but...
Right? I thought I would have lost at least 20 people with, like, corporate holidays. But you guys are hanging in. God bless.
Someone said to me recently, they're like, you know, Jake, you should stream. Like, everyone's off work. And I'm like, I was gonna just take this week off. And I'm like, I'll stream. Screw it. And I'm so glad so many people are here. This is fantastic. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, everybody. Really appreciate you guys. Perry Moberg's with us as well. Dude, thank you for being a supporter. Perry's always coming in the chat and supporting. Really appreciate you, dude. Scream 4 is great. Ooh, I love Scream 4. So, Sarah, this is also one that you would rope into, like, the original 4, like, essentially. What are your thoughts on this 4th entry?
So, I initially was not the biggest fan of it. But over time and over, like, rewatches over the decade, since it like came out. I've like really grown to like it. Especially now after seeing like 5 and 6, I appreciate it like even more because when it came out, it was like kind of jarring compared to like the other three because it was so different. But now when I compare like 5 and 6, I'm like, it's actually still the same vibe. It's just a shiny, like millennial version of that. Like the story was fun. Like I liked some of the characters. They were like very like relatable teens. And like I know that's such like a buzzword, but like they were relatable. I'm like, yeah, these could be my friends. Yes, we wore business casual to school sometimes. Like that blazer happened. We were wearing like pencil skirts in the club. Like that is the year I grew up. Like it just I don't know, they made sense to me. Even though like the nothing characters, they are all a little interesting. I mean, there obviously were some things I really didn't like about it, but no, I rewatch it fondly now. Where before I'd be like, I don't need to watch 4, I'll just watch the first 3.
I feel like 4 and 6 oddly have a lot in common in the sense that you kind of have to see all the other movies to really appreciate like the full extent of them, if that makes sense. Like 4 is great if you've seen the original film. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause a lot of it is playing into the idea of like, what if they remade Scream? And that's kind of the joke a lot of the time. Like Trevor, like you were saying, like he's kind of a nothing character, but he's also like the red herring, so to say. Like he's almost like your Billy Loomis of this movie, but he's not the killer. And that's fun. It's like it's a joke about the franchise itself. So I feel like if you just walked, like if you were just, you know, general audience member, whatever, you just walked into Scream 4, you might be like, what the fuck is going on? Like this is just you know, whatever slasher. But I like, as a fan of this franchise, I really enjoyed this one. You know, there's a lot of jabs and nudges where I'm like, okay, that was funny, cool, good stuff.
Some of the dialogue fails me a little. Like the two cops were just not whatever. But like it's the story that brings me back. Like great reason for a killer. That was like super new and fun, and well, it was like meta for the time. It was, you know, it had a message. Like it made sense. But yeah, dialogue a little less than desirable.
It's too meta. Like it's a little too meta, which I usually do like when, you know, Scream films get meta, but I feel like that's my biggest complaint about the whole film is like the jokes, like when they're trying to do like a meta joke or whatever, it's just too in your face. It's so unnatural to the point where I'm like, okay, you lost me there at a certain point. But a lot of it is fantastic. I mean, it has some of the best kills and some, in my opinion, the best sequel killer, like by far. Like I love Jill. Oh my God, she is so evil, so fucked up and gross. She's a gross little gremlin, and I enjoy characters like that.
Like the scene with her just like smashing herself up, great.
Chef's kiss. I mean, oh my God, I love that. I love when ghost faces are just like, they're gross and crazy and just like insane like that. Those are my favorite. That's my favorite killers. Love it. Great stuff there. Reagan's throwing $2 out there again. Oh shit. Saying I wanted nothing to do with The Exorcist Believer. I didn't watch it. Whew. Damn. The world's biggest Exorcist fan just saying hell no. I mean, fair enough. Sarah, did you see this one?
I did. And Reagan, you didn't miss much. Like it is just your run-of-the-mill standard possession movie. If like those two people weren't in it, it would have nothing to do with the original. Like it didn't need to be. It just didn't need to happen.
Yeah, no, I'm with you entirely. And honestly, dude, Reagan McNeil, Exorcist fan, I gotta be real. I think it does something that is just genuinely disrespectful to that original movie, like with the legacy character. Like, what the fuck?
That was the thing. I was just like, when my friend and I left the theater, she was like, "So is it like as bad as people were saying?" Because she's not like in the horror community. She just likes scary movies. We go see them together all the time.
Heck
and she
yeah.
was like, "So all of your like friends were bashing it. Like, how was it?" I was like, boring, underwhelming, but like disrespectful to the original characters, but like completely forgettable. Like I had so many mixed emotions. It was like, how can something be like offensive but just completely underwhelming? Like it was a weird experience.
I couldn't agree more. Like those two emotions is what I felt walking out of the theater for the first time. I was just like, I'm so like, I don't want to say offended by this. I was just so like, what the fuck? Like, what was that? And then also just so like, that wasn't scary. Like, oh, that's such a shame. It's just, it just felt like you missed the point of the original film so hard.
Right. And if I have to give it like any flowers, I liked like the opening where they were showing like the couple like on their honeymoon or vacation or wherever they were, and like the earthquake, like that first like opening scene, like that was nice. I was like, this could be something, and then no. As soon as they find the girls, the rest goes to hell. Because I'm into it until they go missing, and then they find them, and then it's just downhill.
I thought that this was an excellent start to a movie that would have been perfect for like a film like Prisoners, if you've ever seen that, from like 2013, where it's like the kids go missing and they don't know. Like,
oh, Jake Gyllenhaal and
yes,
yeah, was it Wolverine?
Yeah, Hugh Jackman. Yes. Yeah, it would have been a great start to a movie like that, where it's like, oh, the kids are missing, like this is a more realistic, grounded movie. But the moment it goes supernatural, I'm like, wow, you lost me immediately. And I was really giving it a shot. I was kind of like in the boat where I was thinking, oh, this is gonna suck. But I don't know, just wasn't for me. Just really was not a fan of that one. So Reagan, you missed nothing, my friend. Just enjoy that original. Watch 3 if you haven't seen it. I'm sure you have. That's also worth your time, but that's about it.
Prisoners is upsetting when I think about it. The Paul Dano's character, my heart, it was a lot. It's a heavy movie to watch.
I have so many mixed emotions about that movie, but it really is excellent filmmaking. I mean, like there's so much like, oh my God, like I felt so many emotions watching that. And the ending is such like a moral conflict. I could talk about that forever.
When he's walking around the car at the end, I'm like edge of my seat.
Yeah, I mean, you know, say what you want about it, but like that is, it makes me feel a lot of emotions. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again, because it's like it's one of those where I'm like, that's a lot, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with what this movie's trying to say, but I really enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. So Reagan, thank you for the $2 though, my friend. All I'm saying is that Hugh Jackman's character was 100% right. As fucked up as that is, he was right. I don't care. I'm sorry. Anyways, JTG Studios is throwing 99 cents out there. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. Really appreciate you. Thank you. Oh my God. Reagan's throwing another 2 out there saying it's an abomination to my favorite movie ever.
No notes.
No notes. No notes. Reagan, thank you for the thank you for the 2. I don't even know what to say. Like, you're just right. Like, you're spot on there, dog. Thanks for the $2. Appreciate you. So many things I could say about that movie, but I gotta chill. Adam's House is saying Scream 6 may be my favorite horror movie of the year so far. I still need to watch some others. Megan was good, and I did like Insidious: The Red Door. Okay, you liked Insidious: The Red Door. Interesting. Cool. Are you an Insidious fan, Sarah? Is this your cup of tea or not really?
I did really enjoy the first one when it first came out, but I'm not really into like the supernatural like movies for whatever reasons. Like I never got on board with the Conjurings, like any of that universe. I did did a rewatch of Insidious 1 and 2 to prepare myself for the Red Door, because I was told that I didn't really need to see the others. And like they're fine. They're just not my like wheelhouse of movies. I'm never like a ghost gal.
I gotcha. But you like Mike Flanagan.
Which is crazy. But it all comes down to like writing and characters, I guess, at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what the medium is. If you have like a good story and a good characters, I'm down for that.
That's your big thing, I think. Whenever we talk about movies, it always comes down to if the characters are good or not. So, I mean, that's entirely fair, though. Like, that's a very valid criticism.
I want to root for people.
Yeah, and that's like, you might not feel the intended emotions otherwise. You know what I mean? Like, that's such a big thing. I think that there are some movies that it's just like, it's so fucked up or so like freaky or whatever that it almost supersedes that for me personally, but I totally get it. I mean, like, Scream is effective because the characters are good. If the characters sucked in the original Scream, everything may not work, you know? So I'm with you there for sure.
And I like a puzzle. We've talked about this before, but like, I like a movie that I'm trying to figure out. And I think that's why Hill House worked, where it was like, a series, and we were trying to figure out like why are they there? Like what's and so that's what kind of kept me like involved with like the Insidious movies. It's just like we know it's like a haunting. We know it's astral projection. Like we kind of know the why, and we're just kind of like along for the ride. But I like trying to like I'll always cite Frailty as like my perfect movie, like things like
Oh,
that, like really psychological, like thrillers. Like I was thinking about this when we did the ranking with Eric on like our favorite movies of the year, and I'm realizing that as like the older I get, like maybe I like horror less than I thought, and I'm kind of like moving myself over to like psychological thrillers because it's not necessarily about like ghosts or gore, just scare me with a story.
that's still horror though. I mean,
Yeah.
that's still, that's still a subgenre. That's what I love about horror. I mean, you really get every flavor of the rainbow. I mean, it's sometimes it's David Cronenberg, ridiculous, disgusting shit in your face, but then sometimes it's grounded little stories like that where it is just a mystery. That's where your horror is sourced. So I love that about this genre. Like there's so many different fans like across the board that like different things, and you can be satisfied from all the different things. It's
Who
great.
loves a
I could,
slasher? Who doesn't love a slasher?
exactly. I mean, come on. That's why I could just talk about horror forever. It's the most like versatile genre of film out there, in my opinion. So it's great. It's great stuff. Jason Carpenter's throwing $2 out there. Thank you so much, my friend. Saying Scream 7 is a wrap. We get it 3 to 5 years down the road. Yeah, you might not be wrong. My thinking is they might want to turn it around fast, just to put something out, make money. I hope I'm wrong. God, I hope I'm wrong. But what are your thoughts on that, Sarah? 3 to 5 years? Could we see it in like I guess a longer time between movies?
It's at least two, like at least 2 years until we get something. If Spyglass keeps it, they're probably wanting to get it out sooner than later because like they're all about money. We've talked about this. They're gonna probably want to put something out in like 2 years. If it is sold off, probably 3 to 5 because they'll have to do some like real work they'll have to put in.
Yeah, and this might be something that people don't want to hear, but I genuinely think we'll have a new director announced soon.
Um,
Yeah, I don't want that. I personally, I think that I'm kind of starting to be in the boat of maybe they should just take a break. Like this is going to be a disaster at this point. But I'm not going to guarantee. I'm not going to say like, oh, I guarantee. But I have a pretty bad feeling that we're going to get like in January the announcement like, oh, this person's directing, and it's someone we've never heard of, and it's just going to be like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that one.
way
So,
too soon.
yep, way too soon. Way too soon. So let's hope, Jason, that it's 3 to 5 years down the road. Let's keep our fingers crossed that they actually try to deliver us something good. But whew, I'm scared. Jason, thanks for the $2, man. Let's keep the hope alive if we can. Let's try to be as optimistic as possible. Alex19881 throwing $10 out there. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate you. Saying what Spyglass has done to Scream 7 is very disheartening. I mean, are these people deliberately trying to ruin the movie? At this point, they should sell the rights to Scream 7. Dude, Sarah, no notes.
No notes. No notes.
Yeah, are they trying to ruin the movie? Great question. I don't know at this point.
I think it's just like someone, and by someone I mean Gary, made just a snap knee-jerk decision on something that should have been a much larger conversation, and he won't admit that he is wrong and has dug the franchise into the ground.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I don't even know like what else to say. Like, I'm just upset. I'm just I'm just a sad Scream fan over here. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, this is sad. This is just a sad situation, and the whole thing sucks. Me and Sarah are both kind of in the same boat about we don't really want to get into the political side of things, so that's not really something we're going to be talking about on the stream. But in terms of the fictional story being told in the Scream universe, this is a disaster, and it really does blow. So I'm upset, not only for selfish reasons, but just for fans of this franchise. Like, I know so many people who are like, this is my favorite thing ever, and now it's in total limbo, which blows. So I'm with you, Alex. Are they trying to ruin it? Maybe. I don't fucking know at this point. But Alex, thank you for the $10, man. Let's keep the hope alive. And I got to skip ahead to just something real quick. Madison is calling me out here, saying, I love how you're nodding along to her talking about The Haunting of Hill House as if you've actually finished watching it. I haven't finished it.
The last episode is the... Madison, thank you. Thank you for bringing light to this very important issue. Because... the last episode's incredible. It makes the story. I'm getting hot.
You're heating up. You're like, what the fuck? I literally was telling her the other day. I'm like, I haven't finished it. Like, I actually haven't finished it. And she's like, you run a horror page and you haven't finished The Haunting of Hill House? Like, what the fuck?
I binged it in 24 hours. Like, I stopped to sleep, woke up and finished it.
So I did the same thing. Like, I watched the first 2 episodes and I'm like, I have to go to bed, but this is so good. And I just didn't pick it up. I was like, oh, damn it. I forgot. I literally just forgot. Like, I don't know what else to say. I know I fucked up. Everyone is mad at me about this. I have to finish it. I finished The Midnight Club, but I haven't finished that, which is like, what the fuck? I'm
going to finish that. If you're going to do Hill House, restart it. Like, restart it and watch it all.
I'm gonna make a point of it in 2024 to finish this thing, because I love everything Mike Flanagan has touched is gold, in my opinion. And I've heard the same thing about a lot of his series, not all of them, but I've heard that most of them are just fantastic. And I gotta watch this one. So.
Out of the ones I've seen, it's my favorite, like, hands down. Also, Madison, Queen is gonna force you to watch it. So thank you so much. Report back.
Hell yes. Yeah, we'll report back after I've seen the whole thing. I'm so excited. Like, it's great stuff. Perry Moberg is saying, I saw Suitable Flesh recently. Can you tell I'm getting tired? It's highly campy but decent. Heather Graham goes nuts in it, which is cool. Sarah, have you heard about this crazy ass movie?
I've heard about it. I've seen like the promo for it. I haven't watched it. I don't care if anything is like spoiled for me, but it seemed cool.
So I haven't seen it either, and this seems like it's right up my alley. It's very much so based on like Stuart Gordon movies, like Reanimator, From Beyond, if you know anything about those weird ass little movies. I am so into this. I gotta watch it. I don't know how I missed it. I think it came out like in November or something, and I just never had the time to get around to it. So
there's so many that I don't have time to watch. I think I was saying this to you on Eric's like year-end stream. I was like, we're spoiled now with so much horror content that like if it doesn't grab me immediately, it might not get watched.
And there's just so much, you know what? It's overwhelming. It's like there's so much I was excited for this year. I only got around to 36 horror movies. Like, I actually just did I wrote the whole script out for my year-end video. I only got to 36. Well, I'm so sorry. What?
I said that was quick math.
Yeah, no, I've been writing the script like all week for this video that I'm doing for New Year's Day, or New Year's Eve, I should say. We're just like talking about all the movies that I watched, and I was like, I only watched 36. Like, I was kind of disappointed in myself. I'm like, there's 365 days out of the year. I only got to 36 movies. Damn. So next year I'm going for 40, a new record.
It's a manageable goal.
I think that's reasonable, 40 days out of the year, I got to watch a new movie. That's entirely fair. I can do that. But Perry, this is on my like must watch list, like top of the list. I need to see this one, as well as Identity, which I still have not watched. I'm so sorry, Sarah.
I just cooled down. I'm warm again.
You're like, God damn it, I'm getting mad again.
I had Identity on VHS and I now have it on DVD.
Oh shit. Okay, damn. I think I located it on Tubi, like to just make sure I have it somewhere to finally watch it eventually. But this is one is a must watch.
It used to be on Prime. I think you can rent it on YouTube for like $3. It's not Frailty level for me, but it's like a 9 out of 10 movie. Like, it's fun. I think you would like it. If you liked Frailty and you liked some of like my other recommendations, I really think you'll like it.
Frailty is a hidden gem. I don't know how I haven't even heard of this. I don't hear any horror channels talking about it. It's so good. Like,
that's why I harassed you for like a month. I was like, please just place your trust in me and just watch this one movie. And I feel like I'm I like barter with my friends. I'm like, if you just watch this, like we can go see whatever movie you want. Because like it's so good and nobody has seen it. Bill Paxton it's his directorial debut, except it's like peak Bill Paxton. Like it's incredible. Like watch
I was blown away by it. I went into it totally blind, and I don't know. I was just like, this is so good. Like, this is such an excellent idea for a killer character. You know what I mean? Because like I'm rooting for the guy. I'm also like terrified of him. It's, oh my God. It's so, like, there's so much I could say about that movie. I love it. It's just such a
69 people watching. Just one of you watch Identity, please. Just do it for me.
Do it. Make it happen.
Identity and Frailty. Both.
Watch both, absolutely, for sure. Perry, thank you so much for the $5, man. Suitable Flesh, one I'm going to be watching very soon. I'm very excited for it. Reanimator is like one of my favorite horror films too, so I'm so hyped to finally get to that one. Slashing It with Matt is saying, can't wait for the podcast, Jake. Sarah, I love that sign. Bates Motel is awesome.
Thanks, Matt. I can't wait for your episode.
Hell yeah, dude. That's another show I haven't watched, Bates Motel, and I don't know. I'm missing out on all these horror TV shows, man.
I haven't watched it either. I just really liked the sign. I mean, and Psycho, but it was for vain aesthetic purposes. I was like, that's gonna look sick in my room. And everyone's like, oh, you must love the show. I'm like, sure, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it's so good. Name one actor in it. No, I'm so kidding. I have to watch it though because I love Psycho. I think the 1998 shot-for-shot remake is hilarious. So I don't know. It's at some point I'm gonna get to it. But Matt, thank you so much for the $5, man. Can't wait to talk tomorrow about what you're the most hyped for 2024. Ryan Baxter's also throwing $2 out there saying how to trap a demon. Just use paint.
The answer was there the whole time.
Oh my God. That's a little Insidious the Red Door joke for those who are like, what? Fuck. Yeah. Okay. Ryan, I'm not even kidding. If I start going on a rant about that, I'm just going to be talking about it the rest of the stream. I'm so sorry. I have to move forward or else I'm just going to start losing my mind. I loved most of that movie, but paint is how we, okay. Ryan, thank you for the $2, man. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you, but you're freaking me out, man. No, I'm kidding. Roderick Harris has just become a YouTube member. Roderick, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you. Thanks for your support. You look so comfortable in your profile picture. Can I just say that? That hoodie looks so comfortable. Goddamn.
Ooh, snug as a bug in a rug.
I need a hoodie that comfortable. I love it. Love it. Great stuff. Roderick, thanks for the support, man. I really do appreciate you. Madison is also saying, I'll tie him down and force him to watch it. I got you, boo.
Thanks, Queen.
That's so funny. Oh my God. No, honestly, it's going to happen. Same with Bly Manor. Sam, I'm so sorry. I haven't seen this either. Sarah, have you seen this one from Mike Flanagan?
I have. I prefer Hill House.
Ooh, okay. But is this one like, this is of quality to you or not?
I wouldn't be mad if you skipped it, honestly.
Ooh, okay. Okay, interesting. I'm speaking from, I got nothing. I got no perspective on this, so I have no idea. But interesting. I've heard mixed reviews of the Fall of the House of Usher. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I've only gotten through I think I'm on episode 5. I'm gonna stick it out, but I don't know. Something about Hill House maybe was just special. I haven't really gotten into his other stuff as much. Midnight Mass was good, but the Midnight Club, I didn't really jive with it. Usher is good. Bly Manor was fine, but I don't know. Something special happened with Hill House.
Midnight Club for me started strong and kind of lost me as it went along. But I still thought it was good. It was still a really fun series to watch, for sure. I've seen a lot of weird series and there's some big ones where I just never sat down and watched them, and that's one of them. I'm I got 2 episodes in. I don't know why I just never finished it. So at some point it's happening. But Sarah, I do got to sign off. Unfortunately, I was only had some time to do a quick stream. I have a house full of people right now, all watching the Browns game, which is so funny, and they're literally screaming at me. But is there anything else that you want to say about the Scream situation? Horror? Is there anything you want to just climb to a top of a mountain and scream to the world right now?
I just want Spyglass to sell off the rights to Scream. Just give it a new home. Give it a fighting chance.
Yes, give this wonderful and beloved horror franchise a fighting chance. Truer words have not been spoken in this situation.
That's all I got.
That's all you got. That's all good. Do you want to shout out your Instagram, or is that weird whenever I ask you to do that?
It's not weird. I don't have a YouTube channel, or I don't tweet. I'm not really on social media, but if you want to follow me, it's just my name. It's sar.campbell.
Heck yeah. So go follow Sarah. And you got to start that YouTube channel. I'm telling you what, you would kill it. You're always great. You're always a great guest. So
thank you. Thank you for having me. This was so fun. I don't usually get to like rant about Scream. I kind of like leave that for other more like opinionated people, because I am just that person who I just want them to do a good job. Like whatever happens, just do a good job.
I really wanted to have you on because, like, I feel like I've said this a few times on stream, but like I sometimes worry that this is becoming an echo chamber, and I don't want it to just be my thoughts, you know. And I was like, we were talking about like, oh, you're not crazy about the new ones, and you like the old ones, and I'm like, okay, that's perfect. You know what I mean? I feel like we'll get a different perspective, because the big thing I'm trying to do here is just, this is a community of all the ideas. You know what I mean? I want everything flowing, so I don't want it to just be me being like, Mrs. Loomis sucks. You know what I mean? I don't want it to just be that all the time. So we need a Mrs. Loomis stan on the page is basically what I'm saying.
I ride or die for Mrs. Loomis, okay? Like,
See?
if we all had the same opinion, it would be so boring. So I will always talk about stuff that other people don't want to talk about.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Sarah, thank you so much for coming on. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Really appreciate you. Holy shit, what a great turnout, too. Seriously. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. On either the 30th or New Year's Eve, I'm doing another bracket stream. The last thing I'm doing all year. Very excited for it. We're talking about the top 16 horror movies of the year. Which one will be number one? Which will be crowned king of 2023? I'm excited to find out. It is up to you guys, because the audience decides. So come join that stream whichever day I decide to do it. And thanks again for hanging out with us tonight. As always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Peace out.